Are you living on autopilot? You wake up, maybe you have your quiet time of meditation or prayer, scriptures, journal a little bit, shower, or maybe do exercise, then shower, maybe get a quick bite to eat if you still have school-aged kids, making sure they are ready, or maybe it's just you that needs to get ready. And then, of course, after breakfast, you head into your office or living room to log in to work or either drive in traffic. You're sitting there, maybe you're still trying to put your makeup on. You get to your destination, you're working, maybe eat a quick salad or two, or maybe not salad right now, and you eat something, hopefully, and then you go back to the grind until it's time to clock out. You get back in traffic or log out all the tabs, and then you are just going through the motions again, whatever errands you have to run, or if you have to pick up food instead of cook food, or maybe you prepare food. And then by that time, you're washing dishes, winding down for bed, and the cycle starts over again. When do we start waiting for something big to happen before we allowed ourselves to really enjoy our lives? So every day we are just going through the motions. But what if we took time throughout that day just to wake up and start making the most of our day? Maybe stop talking about going on that vacation on the weekend, or wait until I can get everything squared away to do the next thing. Or maybe wait until I have more money, more time, more retirement. Maybe wait until the kids get older. It's just a hassle taking the kids everywhere. Maybe when they get a little older, and it'll be better that way. Or whatever it is, fill in the blank. Most of our lives aren't vacations. If I only feel alive when I'm traveling, I'm going to spend a lot of my life waiting to live. Let's say that again. If I only feel alive when I'm traveling, I'm going to spend a lot of my life waiting to live. A lot of us are waiting to live. We're waiting for all the things. But what if in the midst of those little things, again, that we find something different to do? For instance, okay, you know what time you have to wake up every morning, right? All right, so maybe this time, instead of waking up and maybe sitting in your bed doing your writing, your meditation, whatever it may be, maybe just walk to your closet, or maybe just walk around, sit on a pillow. You can have your blanket on the floor. Just doing that one simple different thing. Or with your breakfast, instead of just speeding to just scarf it all down, what if you took an extra 5 minutes and actually sat down to enjoy the breakfast and savor each bite? What if instead of racing through the traffic, and then as soon as you turn, you get your keys and you're gonna go back and go into your office, or if you're gonna get your laptop going, what if you just waited and did maybe 3 little deep breathing exercises? Just 3. How do you think that would make you feel? Would your morning feel a little more different if you did that? Just think about that. Or what if during lunchtime, instead of sitting at your desk, you decided to go sit outside? Or maybe if there are little cafes around, what if you actually went inside and sat inside a cafe? Think about it. These are little things that we often miss of just, instead of just going through the motions, actually making the most of our day and finding those little nuggets that make us feel a little bit more vibrant and less tapped out and less stressful. So, again, let me give you some more examples. I just thought about something like for lunch. So I know sometimes you have everything prepared, prepped with your budget and everything. So thinking about your lunch, maybe you could fit in just try one time eating out during a lunch break a month. Let's see how that goes. Instead of, getting the usual lunch things that you get, you could always get some extra rice and stretch it out maybe. But taking that one day to choose a place that's not too far, maybe like a French bakery. Maybe there's a French bakery that you've been wanting to try out. And this time you're going to go inside, you're going to sit down and just order something. Now you can't fly to Paris this weekend, okay? But you can go sit in the bakery. You can sit there and order a croissant sandwich or some other kind of pastry. And you can just sit there and just enjoy it. And I'm sure they have some cool murals or something on the wall that you can just, look and notice what you notice. Enjoy the music. Just enjoy the whole vibe. Set your timer so you won't be late going back to work. But just enjoying the entire vibe of it all. Wouldn't that just make you feel like, oh, this is nice? Yeah, you may, after that, dread going back to work, but at least you had that experience of just feeling more vibrant. That takes me to dinner. We can't leave dinner out. You may be tired of the same old leftovers. Maybe chicken fried rice or something that you like to cook. Most people like to get them chicken and some rice and just pile it together and make something. And the sauce is what we call the boss. Well, maybe this time, instead of just sitting at the table or in front of the TV, maybe get a blanket out, get some pillows, and have your meal on the floor. Or maybe instead of cooking the burgers on the stove, maybe light up the fire pit and maybe have the burgers on the fire pit. And maybe, make room for some s'mores, or make room for if you just have enough to get the actual marshmallows, then you can roast the marshmallows. Whatever. You don't have to make it all complicated. Just take one thing at a time. And again, getting up earlier, at least 5 minutes, and then maybe going to bed 5 minutes earlier, or having that 5-minute window where you just sit there and think about your day. Think about some things that you were actually grateful for that day. What made you laugh? Maybe sometimes that you forget about that you do actually laugh throughout the day, even though you are number crunching and you have lots of deadlines. You do have moments where things are funny. So maybe you can remember that and write that down. So these are moments you can go back to when you're feeling down or you're just feeling depleted and feeling like you're just going on that hamster wheel. It's to set you back into a place that you can say, okay, all right, this is worth it, because look at all these things that's happening throughout my day and throughout my week. So you don't necessarily need a different life. Sometimes you need to experience your current different. As I'm listening to Snoopy, you hear a little clicking in the background. That's my rabbit. He's having a good old time drinking. Again, you don't necessarily need a different life. Sometimes you need to experience your current life differently. Let's drink to that. Gotta stay hydrated. All right. So I have a question. What have I never done within 30 to 60 minutes of where I live? Can you think of anything? Maybe it's some place you haven't visited within 30 to 60 minutes from your house. So I know where we live, we have a lot of walking trails. So there's other walking trails that I haven't experienced. There's some museums, which brings me to this. One Saturday, my husband and I, we actually visited a museum that's not too far from our house. And we've heard about it, but never really thought about it until they were showcasing something that involved a family member, which was like super cool. Because museums have little specialty things they do sometimes throughout the year. And so I just happened to see something on social media, and it was just a nice time just to see what was going on there, what happened, just to see old clothes, quotes, different little makeshift machinery, different things like that. And we actually ate out at a new little spot, and I tried something different. So it can be somewhere right in your neck of the woods that you haven't even tried yet, just because you thought, oh, that's just something I can do it anytime. Hey, make it a part of what you're doing. Live now. This is now. Live now. You can do that now. So another thing is farmers markets, and then also local classes. So I don't know most, but a lot of places in the South have local farmers markets. And then some have a market that's a span, like the weekend or on a Saturday or something like that. So what about visiting a farmer's market? You can try a new veggie you haven't tried before. You can try a specialty item like some bread or some cookies or something, or pasta. Some have like homemade pasta. Or maybe a festival, right? Sometimes they have those festivals, maybe 4 times a year or something like that. Or a pottery class, I've mentioned that before. Or some live music. Sometimes we underestimate that. You never know who you'll meet being outdoors and connecting. And then some food vendors or food trucks may be there. I know one town not too far, they have like a food truck Friday. I don't know if it's every Friday. And so that's something that I need to go explore. It's another town or so over. So there's things to do, and it's all about planning for it. That's what makes it even better, planning for that. So I have a challenge for you. I want to challenge you to become a tourist in your own area for one afternoon. Just for one afternoon. So you got to do all the things. So first, you got to decide, okay, what day can I be a tourist for an afternoon? Most likely it will maybe be Saturday. And you may say, well, that's my free day. Well, it's a free day to explore. Like, how cool is that? You're making memories with yourself, making memories with your family. So plan it out, look at your calendar, match everyone's schedule up, and say, okay, this is the day that we're going to designate to be a tourist. And so once you pick the date, then you can decide, okay, so let's look at our local calendars to see what is happening. So it may be something happening right down the street, or it may be something happening 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30, whatever it may be. And maybe come up with 3 different things, 3 different little excursions or 3 different places to visit. And you guys can just can't get my words out. You guys can decide on one. If you have a family that's like, I don't know, get a piece of paper. Here we go. We're going to like write down your top 1, 2, and 3. Like number them. And then everyone puts it in. And then if most people said number 1, go for number 1. If there's a tiebreaker, then you just start over. That can make it fun too. Just get the family involved in making the decisions, especially if you may be one of the ones that's making a lot of these decisions. Get them. That may be a great way just to get your family involved as well. And then guess what? After you've gotten the date, you've gotten the place, now let's see what all is happening with that. Is there food involved? Are there different monuments to take a look at? Is there shopping? And just decide how much time are we going to dedicate to this. And then now you can become a tourist. And always remember, bring a separate change of clothes and make sure your phones, bring your chargers and make sure they're fully charged. Your phones and your charger is charged. That way you can savor all of the memories that you are going to make. How does that sound? Yeah? Let's do it. Let me know in the comments what you're going to do. Look, I've helped you plan out the whole thing. I just don't know where you're going, but hey, step by step, here we go. So I would love to hear what you decide. And if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the Midlife Time Traveler. We are reclaiming our time, our energy, our talent, and we are on this journey together. I'm documenting everything in real time, and things are changing. And if you believe it, if you don't quit, you can win. All right? So, here we go. Everything sometimes becomes predictable, and sometimes we stop noticing. Like we mentioned, on autopilot, that can be with your spouse, your children. You're so used to the same old, you may not be paying attention to what's really going on. Sometimes you're trying to just be sane. It's a lot going on. So you have to be willing to find the fun. Find the fun. Remember I mentioned earlier about finding something to laugh about? So you've already got one thing, right? So you may have to go back. Maybe put it in your phone and find the fun. And see what was that thing that made me smile or made me laugh? And put that into work. A lot of times when we're not paying attention, we can become like resentful, resistant to change. And that causes a lot more problems. And it can be challenging, and it can be work just to get out of that little rut. So we have to continue to be grateful for things. We have to have those reminders of how we can find fun. So we can start noticing, paying more attention to what's around us. This is our life. A wise woman said, if you have a life, live it. Live it up, live it, enjoy it. Making the most. I have a quote, while you have the day, make the most of today. Making the most of it. Look, I haven't shaken my maracas in this one. Speaking of, I've had this for years. My sister actually brought this back from Mexico some years ago. And it's been a part of my life ever since. Like, it shows up randomly. For a while, I couldn't remember where I put it. And then I found it. So yeah, but usually I put it on my bookshelf, but it shows up randomly and I'm starting to share it more. But this is my fun. I get all excited about, just it's making noise. I get excited about those things. So, the challenge. Who decided you're finished discovering what you enjoy? Who decided that you're done? When you get of a certain age, it's like, oh, I done lived my life. Let the young people do it. Who made that up? Oh, I'm too old to do that. Oh, back in my day, Like, who made all this up? Who made it up? Like, why can't we enjoy this day right now? Why can't we? Why can't we enjoy it? Why can't we use time sitting on a live and touching up our lipstick? Why can't we sip on our water? Why can't we have fun with whatever we're doing? Why does it have to be, no, it's just for that person, or that's not for me. Oh, I can't do that. Who told you that? Who created that? That is not true. There's so much more to your life. There's so much more what you're doing right now. There's so much more to what you're doing. You just need to take time to notice. So, I have my little notes here, so I'll stay on track because I will go somewhere else. So, adventures are not reserved for people with travel money. Let's say that again. Adventures are not reserved for people who have travel money. Now, you can actually budget for your travel. That's something that we have done. But what about budgeting for joy? That's something in a group that I had started, and it was a joy budget. And we talked about actually having money aside where it is for joy. You use it for joy, whatever that looks like. Maybe that cup of coffee, it may be the croissant, it may be one of those, what do you call those things that I made a mess of? The viral fruit pastries. Oh my gosh. I should have asked how to tap it. Well, I got one of those and they're not cheap. So maybe you need money for that. Maybe you can't travel to Yemen, but you can go to a nice little Yemen coffee shop and have the experience. I'll talk about that just for a moment. So, like I said, you don't have to have travel money to actually enjoy and have adventures. But it is good to set some money aside to do things like go to a coffee shop. So there is a coffee shop. There's different chains all around. And it's Yemen. It's a Yemen shop. And so you walk in and for one, it's beautiful in there. Like cream colored walls and gold. And then there's a big case of all kinds of pastries and these, is it butter bread or all these different breads, and there's samosas. I love samosas. I'll tell you another place that has great samosas, and that is Kigali. Oh, so good. And we got like a big bag of them. I was eating them like they were chips. That's so bad. It was so good though. I digress. And so when you go into the coffee shop, it has the big thing, has the samosas, the breads, all the pastries. And they also have those viral pastries. And I wanted blueberry. And inside there's custard. And it's blueberry custard. It's so delicious. And then you can get all these different little tea sets. So like really gold, bronze looking tea sets. They're fancy. So you're paying for that as well, plus whatever you get with it. And so I had the Saudi, I think it was called, the tea. It was a lightly roasted tea. And it had saffron in it and some ginger. And so I got that and that little fancy thing in my samosas. And then I also had the little viral fruit pastry. Well, I'm sitting there because I'm all like, oh, with my sister. We're so excited about the experience. And I'm like, how do you open this thing? And then I picked it up and I crushed it too hard and it went pop. And I had custard on my jeans, on my blue jeans. I had custard on my hands. I had custard a little bit on the table. I ate most of it that was near the table and the and my plate. I was like, I'm not wasting this. It was not cheap. Oh, I didn't eat it off my pants though, but I wiped my pants off. But and it did come out. It did come out. The color did come out. But all of that, just thinking about that. And I have pictures. I took a little picture, had a little video of what happened. It was so weird. But those are memories. I didn't say, no, that's just juvenile. I'm not doing that. No, I actually experienced something in my midlife and I had fun. It was like I was in Yemen. I had all the little inspired items and just the entire experience and the music. And I had a little beat going too. Like those are things that we miss. So it's never too late. Enjoy it now. Wake up, enjoy your life. Find those places in those moments in that time within your box of time to enjoy. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to Egypt, but Egypt is an adventure I'm preparing for. But I don't want Egypt to be the only time my life feels interesting. Like, I don't want that to be like that. If you have just tuned in to the Midlife Time Traveler, if you look at all the shorts on my channel and all the videos, I just recently mentioned about me going, but I've been knowing for well over a year. But I didn't put it out there because I know my life does not evolve around that trip. I have interesting moments every day. When I walk outside, I'll find something to be excited about. When I get up, sitting in my closet doing a live video when my other video wasn't working, that's exciting. I am finding interesting things because I believe I'm interesting. You have to believe that you are. It looks different. There's no rule to say, if you do these things, you will be interesting. No, you have to decide that's who you show up as being and enjoy you. You have to learn how to enjoy you. So before this week is completely over, do one thing differently on purpose. Do one thing, just one thing differently on purpose. And then I want you to ask yourself, what did I notice? How did it make me feel? What else have I been overlooking? What did I notice? How did it make me feel? And what else have I been overlooking? And once you've answered those questions, I want you to come back to this video, the comment section, and share. Let's celebrate each other. We need to do that more. So I'm learning that creating my next chapter isn't only about the big things. It's not only about the big things I'm planning. It's also about how I choose to experience the ordinary days between those big moments. How am I choosing? All right. What is one small adventure you could create without leaving your own town? I want to hear it. I want to hear it. So now I do invite you to, again, subscribe to my channel, The Midlife Time Traveler. We are reclaiming our time, our energy, our talents. We're rediscovering adventure. And we are creating things intentionally creating our next phase in midlife. Until next time, while you have the day, make the most of today. Bye for now.